Alright, so for what's on my workbench today, I just wanted to take a break from working on this 7800 board, S-Video out board, and take a quick look at this Supervision Magnum. It's the first time I ever really seen a Supervision sent to me because of that. Yeah, screen's got a few issues. Let's see if we can open it up. Too much crud on my bench. Scratch it. These cartridges have these little exposed pins like that. Can't say I really like that. Build quality, the plastic work seems nice. There's no overmold. I don't see any flash or anything like that. I'll check it out more when I open it up. Hopefully this will be very similar to Game Boy. The original Game Boy will have the same line out problem as that. And what causes it is there's a conductive strip that gets used to actually connect the LCD screen. We'll take a look at it in a second. Uses AAA batteries, which is interesting. And it looks like it runs off of these I put these rechargeables in, and it seemed to work on just fine. It's unusual. I've never seen a system take 4 triples. Usually they use like 2 doubles or 4 AA's. So that's kind of unique. But it didn't seem to mind the lower voltage of a rechargeable. They probably just down regulate it from whatever voltage down to 5 or 3.3. Looks like there's 2 more in here. So apparently, gentleman who sent this in, he received it in this condition. So those are shorter. Received it and the lines were out like that, so methinks the quality control in China is not that great. From what I can tell, this is from 1996, so it's over 20 years old. Well, the design is 20 years old. I don't know if it's actually that old. Let's see. Oh, wow, that's cheap. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. So, it's sandwiched together here. You have a lower board here and an upper board here. So it looks like the lower board contains this board contains all the electronics, and then the upper board has the LCD controller and the controls. So either a variable cap or a potentiometer in there. That's kind of interesting. How do you take this apart is the question. Looks like, oh criminy, this thing looks difficult to manufacture. You can see here you've got 4 screws holding it down and a bunch of discrete wires. It's a lot of hand soldering. This is all hand soldered here. This is all hand soldered in here. this is hand soldered. Even though this is surface mount, it looks like it was hand soldered as well. This is all definitely hand soldered. Here, this is all hand. A lot of hand soldering. Looks, if I was going to do it, I'm thinking that what they did is they had it designed so you have 2 on the left and 2 on the right. This is not very designed very well for manufacturability. I can tell you that right now. So when you have cheap labor, and you're not worried about labor costs, you just make it harder to make. And because if you're paying people $3 an hour, $2 an hour, it doesn't matter if you add a little extra labor into it. But if you're like in a, yeah, that's what I thought. Looks like they tilt it, and that's how they get the screws out. Yeah, see, yeah, that's what they did. What the heck is that wire for? Oh, it's just a, okay, that's a ground wire, just tacked haphazardly on there. And it looks like this hole, oh, wow, okay. There's a big ferrite down here for the sound chip. Sorry, the audio jack. Looks like it might actually be real stereo. The Gamecom was not. It was actually just dual mono, but who knows? It says stereo on the front, but I don't believe them. And you got a couple more in here. 3 more here. Yeah, you can always tell when something's designed with cheap labor in mind is when there's an excessive number of screws. When there's lots of screws, it adds the labor cost. Somebody has to touch all those screws to put them in. Okay. The plastic molding's really nicely done still. It's not bad. The plastic's good. Okay, so it's all out except for those 3 things. Alright, so let me mark those. There's your positive, there's your negative, and there's a ground. Cheap Chinese solder, you could smell the real high rosin content in it. It smells different. You get different quality solder actually smells different when you do it. And this is just tacked on here. Alright. So got the back case off. Alright, so still not a great system to play with here. We got, wow, a lot of screws. Kind of reminds me of the Gamecom in many ways. You can see a lot of glop top going on here. Get closer to the camera so you can see it. So you got a lot of glop tops going on here. So my suspicion is this strip here is what's faulty, because this is actually wraps around to the LCD display. So I can't almost looks like a hot bar as opposed to something that's soldered. A hot bar, you just you just have flexible cable and a bunch of pads, and you press them together mechanically, and that's what makes the connection. So what I'll do is temporarily hot wire in a hot wire in 6 volts into the system, and turn it on and run my finger across here and see if I can, if that's the case. If it's just a shoddy hot bar, what I can do is, I don't know if I can heat this up or not. It doesn't look like that would be the case, but find some better way to mechanically attach these to each other. Let's see. supply on. Turn my power supply on, set the 6 volts. Close enough. 5 volts, there's 6 volts, there's ground. Let's put the cartridge in. I think the best word I would use would be hokey. So, sure nothing's touching before I turn on the supply. Okay. Okay, let's see if it's the hot bar. Hot bar's over here. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, I can see some of the lines coming in slightly when I press it down more. By any luck, ugh. Wow, that sounds terrible. Let's see. Let's take a look here. 1, 2, 3. Jiminy Crickets, people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 more screws. What is with these Chinese systems? It's going to drive me mad. $17 screws. So, it doesn't look like there's any kind of secondary retention. No guts, no glory. Let me turn my iron down a little bit. Let's see what happens here. Always get an adjustable iron. See if this plastic melts or not. And indeed it does. Okay. So it looks like what I can do is take off, let's see, is the regular plastic melt? Or is it heat resistant? No, that melts too. Alright. So what they did was a crappy hot bar. And I could see where it delaminated up in here. Well, I'm going to have to look up how the heck to fix that. See if there's any tip or trick to it. If this was a Game Boy, you could just heat up this strip here, but this plastic I could see is not meant for that. It's just melting under my iron. Well, I guess I'll pull all the screws out and see what I can do.